So today I'm going to be doing a video about the brow products I use and brow products that I think are good for redheads because, well, if you're a redhead, you probably understand the struggle that there's not a whole lot out there for us brow-wise because they're always either way too red or they're kind of gray toned or they just look funny. So I'm going to be talking about the brow products that I use and kind of talk about different colors that I think you can use if you're a redhead. So my favorite product of all time for pencils is the Brow Wiz by Anastasia. And it's pretty expensive. It kind of sucks because you run out of it very quickly, but I do really like it. It's very smooth, and I use the color Caramel, and that's what I'm wearing today. If you have more of a chestnut colored red hair, I would probably go with the color Auburn, but I will say that it's very deep red. Blonde is the lightest color. I would go with that if you like to go a lot lighter than your actual hair color. A good dupe for the Anastasia Brow is the NYX Micro Brow. So it looks like this. It has the end just like the Brow is. I'll use the color Auburn if I'm trying to outline my brows. And then I will use the color Blonde if I'm just trying to fill them in. So a technique that I like to use to make my brows stand out is I'll use a color like how they look overall to fill in, and then I will use a darker kind of auburn color to outline the outside so it looks very clean and sharp. Another drugstore option that I really love is the Revlon Colorstay, and it looks like this. So I go between the color Auburn, which is this one, and also the color Blonde. So the tricky thing with Blonde is that it has like a little bit of a strange undertone, and with the Auburn color, it's a very, very strong red. So the problem with the Colorstay is that you do have to use an extremely light hand, or else you can really see those undertones. But one thing that I really love about this is it's very creamy and it's very pigmented, which is kind of hard to find in most brow products. The tinted brow gel that I use is the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. It looks like this. The only color that I would recommend is this one right here, which is in the color Blonde. This is mostly for someone who likes the shape of their brows but wants to add a little bit of fullness. It's not something that I would layer products on, so I don't use it that often because I'm someone who likes to do brow pencil and then my powder duo and sometimes dip brow. So with all that, it's kind of hard to do a tinted brow gel on top of that. It gets kind of clumped up, so I would use this only if it's the only brow product you're going to use. Next, my all-time favorite brow product, if I had to choose one brow product I could use ever, it would be the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo, which is this one, and it looks like that. So it has two different shades. I use the color Caramel, and I use this shade right here to fill in my entire brow, and then I use this to outline. And this color right here is really amazing to like do the tip and the ends of your brows, because I don't know if this is redheads in general or it's just me, but my brows look non-existent when I don't put brow powder on. Like they don't exist. It literally stops here, and the rest of it my brows just don't show up. So I love the brow powder because it really brings out the color of my brows, but it doesn't look like crazy. It doesn't look unnatural. It kind of picks up the color where your brows are non-existent, I guess, in my case. So this is probably the product that I would recommend the most for redheads, because I know with a lot of redheads it's like we have brow hair, but for some reason it just doesn't show up without makeup. So that's why I really like this product. And sometimes if I really want a super clean brow, like kind of an Instagram brow that you normally think of, I will use the Dip Brow Pomade. And I use the color Auburn. They do have it in Caramel, but the reason I use Auburn is because the darker color makes it a lot sharper, which is kind of what I want when I'm using Dip Brow. However, you have to be extremely, extremely light-handed with it. And the last step I like to use is a cream concealer. I tried to look everywhere for this concealer on Sephora and Ulta, and I don't think that they sell it anymore. So you can really use any cream concealer just like this. I know MAC has some good ones, and I just like to kind of clean up the brow. And the reason I prefer this over a liquid is because with liquid you can easily have your brows looking good, and then you put the liquid on and you go a little bit too far and then it just ruins everything you just did. But the cream, you have a lot of control with it, so that's why I really love it. And then the last part I have is the brushes that I use. So anyone who uses a dip brow or a pomade or any brow powder, you need a angled brush like this one, and the spoolie is a really big help as well to kind of disperse the product across your brows. So the reason that I would recommend splurging on this one is because they last forever. I mean, I've purchased 2 or 3 different ones, but I've had them over the course of like 6 or 7 years, so that's really not bad for a brush. And I've tried to use drugstore ones and you know, the ones that come in those big sets, and nothing really compares to this Anastacio one. So this is my all-time favorite angled brush for putting on pomade or a powder, and this is the Anastasia number 12 brush. When you're using the cream concealer, the brush that I like to use the most is one of these kind of very flat top rounded brushes. It really helps to just get right in there and spread it out really easily. So this is an Urban Decay one that I got in one of the Urban Decay palettes, so I did write down several different options that are basically the same thing. So for high-end ones, the Sephora number 52 brush, and the Sephora brand brushes are like pretty like inexpensive compared to like most high-end brushes, so they're a really great brand and the quality is great. And then the next one I would recommend is the Anastasia number 18 brush and the Makeup Forever number 174. So then I've got some drugstore options which are basically the same thing, but obviously much less expensive, like crazy inexpensive compared to the high-end ones. But the first one I have is it's called the e.l.f. Cosmetics Only Concealer Brush, and it's $3. I found it on Ulta, but it is online only, so if you're an online shopper, definitely get that one. And then the next one is the Ecotools Unlimited Concealer Duo for $6. Ecotools has really great brushes, so this has a combination of 2 different concealer brushes that you can really use either of them for the same thing. I have 3 different drugstore concealer brushes that would work. The first one is by e.l.f. Cosmetics. It's called the Only Concealer Brush, and it's for $3. It's only online, which kind of sucks, but if you do online shop on Ulta, I would definitely recommend picking that one up. The next one is the Ecotools Ultimate Concealer Duo for $6, so you could use either brush in the duo. The third drugstore option is the Morphe M421, and this one is $3.50 at Ulta. So those are my brow tips, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm going to link all the links to all these products in the description below, aside from the Becca Cream Concealer, but I'll try to link some other concealers that will do the same job. Alright, thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye. And the Morphe, okay. The one is a little bit more detailed, which is really good for, I mean, I like the more detailed one for fixing my lipstick, but it also would work well for the brows. The last one is the Morphe M421, and this one, oh, I didn't say that. This next one is the Ecotools the next one is the Ecotools Ultimate Concealer Duo.